I'm not going to front like I was a big Gene Wilder fan.
No?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to start that off.
I'm not, I mean, I was, so you know what I mean?
Were you really?
I've always been a big Willie, not Willie Wonka, hit that. But yeah, a big fan of Gene Wilder, only because like he was super hilarious, but also he was a really good actor.
Funny dude.
Really funny dude. And he like quit the biz after Gilda Radner died. He was like, done. Like, I'm out.
So that was his wife.
Yeah. He's done various things. I mean, he's been in things, but he just doesn't. Kind of just left.
Kind of like Rick Moranis did?
Kind of like Moranis did.
Now, Gene Wilder was married to Gilda Radner.
Yes.
She was on SNL. Mm-hmm. I would say of SNL fame. Mm-hmm. Is that safe to assume?
Yes.
That was her peak?
That was her peak.
SNL. She died suddenly? Do you know how
cancer?
She died?
I believe it's cancer.
Okay. And then he just went away.
He just kind of slowly drifted out. Wasn't really, I mean, I think his thing was like, he was kind of done with Hollywood or didn't see maybe there was anything worth doing, you know?
He did what he came to do.
Yeah, he wrote a fantastic book.
What was the name of the book?
I can't remember the name of it.
Wilder Out?
Wilder.
Welcome to Boys.
Yeah.
We are back from Austin, Texas.
Oh yeah, we are back from Austin, Texas.
Yeah, we took a week off after our trip, and we had a good time. My takeaway from the weekend would be that as I get older, I eat a lot more, and didn't really close down the bars.
No,
didn't really rage.
Didn't get close to it. But the thing is that's not just going out of town. Although you notice it more when you go out of town. Like when me and my wife go on trip. I'm sure when you and your wife go on trips, your plan isn't to go to a bar. But I'm a fan of beers, like craft beers. When you go to a bar and like, I just want to get a local beer and hang out.
Right.
And then you get buzzed and you're like, oh, it's getting late. No, it's 10 o'clock. So let's get something to eat and then go to bed.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes.
That's pretty much what we did. Mm-hmm. Went to a few nice bars. Not so nice bars. We went to some holes, some real holes. Some decent places. Yeah. Ate a lot of good food.
Yeah. Came
back from the trip. Check my bank account, as I'm known to do a couple times a week, just to make sure there's nothing crazy going on.
Sure. Well, you never know these days.
Yeah. I mean, you could have your identity stolen.
Well, the Target hacking thing.
You could take Ambien,
buy a bunch of shit,
order a brick of incense, as I've done before.
That's awesome. Though.
Showed up to my door 2 days later, thanks Amazon Prime, a brick of Nag Champa. The size of a fucking shoebox.
So wait, like incense sticks?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is it just like a brick? I've seen the scone ones.
Okay. You know, there's two sizes of Nog. There might be three actually. There's the small, very small. I call it the rip-off box. There's like 5 sticks in there,
and it's like $4.
Oh no, it's not that much. It's like I think it's like 50 cents or $1.
You know what you're talking about?
The small square box of
like the
Nog Champa.
super tiny one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a square.
It looks like there could probably maybe only be one inside of it.
Right. Okay. But I think they cram like 4 or 5. Okay, there's that one.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got your medium-sized box, which is the go-to box.
It's like the $4 one, right?
Yeah.
It's got like 15 or something in it.
Yeah. Then you got your bigger box. You got your it's like 3 of those regular boxes put together.
I like that one.
Yeah, I ordered the shoe box.
Yeah.
It was so much Nag Champa.
Gotten one of those.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. How much was it on Amazon, if you don't mind me asking?
I want to say it was around $18.
That's fair. I got mine at there's a local curiosity shop in the Paseo, Craig's Emporium. Mm-hmm. Go there for all I get is incense, but I love the way that fucking store smells.
Yeah, it's nice.
Awesome. And I'll buy like the big brick sometimes. I mean, that brick will last you for fucking ever.
Oh yeah, I burned Nag Champa every day for probably 8 months before I ran out.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I ran out finally. Gonna have
Eventually.
to order some more.
But you're gonna have to like individually wrap shit for Christmas. Be that cheap out. Or just put it on like a Christmas gift, like cross incense sticks just to get rid of them.
I'll just use them for crafting, all kinds of things. But yeah, I checked my bank account when we got home from the trip, and I had spent $250 on food and beer. Right. Even though we kind of, as far as like drinking goes, again, we didn't go out. We went out, but we didn't go nuts.
We visited the Drunk Texan every day.
But what was that again?
It was called the Texas. I think it was called the Texan Market. and I coined it the Drunk Texan because it was I didn't even realize it had a gas pump until the last day we were there. Like, oh, this is a gas station. I thought it was like a corner market that just sold beer.
They had a wonderful selection.
Yeah, great selection.
And
local stuff, mostly local.
Yeah, and it saved us a lot of money, but I went ahead and spent another lot of money on eating food and the few bars we went to. I came home and I was like, how did I spend that much money on food?
Well, we only went to bars one night. But when we were eating 3 meals a day, though.
3 meals, eating out a day, coffee.
Yeah.
These local beers that weren't cheap. You know, a 6-pack was like $12, $13. It was good stuff.
Great stuff.
But damn it if I didn't leave my beer in Austin. I bought a 6-pack of Fourth Tap.
Fourth Tap, yeah.
It was a tamarind wheat ale. Delicious. I can't remember the exact name of it.
Shout out to Fourth Tap.
Yeah. Hey, Fourth Tap. I know you're listening. Come to Oklahoma. Come on, dude. I've been to like 5 liquor stores trying to find this shit.
Yeah.
Because once I got back and I had a little taste of that tamarind, I was just like, fuck, I got to get some more of this. It's so good.
Yeah.
Delicious outdoor summertime, sun on your face.
Oh, you had that by the pool too.
Oh,
good
I
poolside
did.
beer. Yeah.
Right before the event that we'll get into a little later.
Okay.
Remember when I was nice and relaxed and then something terrible happened? Little teaser for the episode.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I had a great time with Colin, ate some good food, made some music. Some sweet, sweet music. And
we did do that.
Made a little music.
A little bit. A little afternoon.
Watched a lot of Louis.
We did. We what was that? Yeah, we watched that and some, God. I'm doing air quotes. Fail videos.
Yeah.
That weren't fails.
Well, you know, Josh, there gets to be a point in the night where you're hanging out. You're doing other things.
Sure.
With your friends. And one of your friends decides to show you a fail video. And it's not just a fail video. It's not just a Vine or a GIF or a loop. It's a collection. And some of these collections can be 30 minutes long. And some of these collections can be terrible. But you never know.
You never know. You just have to start it and go with it.
We failed ourselves that night.
Boy, did we ever. And what was misleading about this specific video clip was that it was titled Epic Fails.
Yeah. Or something like the most epic fails.
Correct. And I think the worst thing I saw was a kid fall off a skateboard, really?
Yeah. Or like a hoverboard or something.
Yeah, no.
And they always get you with the titties. You're cruising your fail vids, your playlists, your curated lists, and you're going through and you're like, man, which fail video comp am I going to watch tonight? And you're scrolling down, scroll. Oh, damn, there's a girl like singing in a hairbrush and like the cat knocked over a candle behind her and she's got him out.
Yeah.
You know, she's there, dude. Like she might be in a bra. Yeah. Perhaps a towel that accidentally comes off.
But that video never plays.
No, it wasn't even in it. It wasn't. We watched 30 minutes of this shit. Nary a tit. Not a single tit.
Not a single tit.
Which I guess you can't really show boob. You can show boobs on YouTube.
I've noticed this. It happens with that and another thing we noticed while we were in Austin.
It's the same with the fail video. Always get you with the tit.
Well, the thing is, with the Instagram, I've noticed it because I never noticed it until you guys both brought it up. Like, yeah, it just will pop up in your feed. Like, you don't even have to follow it because it'll be maybe an ad or something, and you just start scrolling, and then what the fuck is this? Just and I saw one. It was a boob, like an actual breast,
a naked tit.
I think here's how they get around it. As long as there's one article of clothing covering the breast, but if it's sheer,
okay,
that counts. But this was like nips. And all.
Yeah. Well, that's it's a fine line because I've seen that too, and I'm a big fan of the Explore tab on Instagram.
Yeah.
When I'm not, battling inner turmoil.
The magnifying glass, right? You
yes.
Click that. Yeah.
Yes. When I'm not fighting the inner turmoil of wanting to quit all things internet.
Right.
Whatever. This week I don't. Next week I will. Whatever. But yeah, I love the Explore tab, and boy, if mine isn't anything but guitars and boobs. And I don't know why, because I don't follow any, how do I say, titty girls, cam models, porn stars, anything.
But if you see one and it'll say recently viewed by or followed by, buddy on your list.
Dude.
You're like,
And we've talked about that on the show before.
Yeah.
You always got that friend. You always got that friend. And I'm not talking just a simple admirer. I'm talking you take a little trip over from your Explore tab into your Liked tab, and you can look and see what your friends have liked. And it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny when you see, let's just call him Wayne. Just likes, no, that's a bad one. Let's call him Carl.
Okay.
When it's just like, boobs, 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 ass, boobs, boobs, a bass, boobs, boobs. It's like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a married man, I can't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it.
But you can't double click.
I can't double tap a tit. Like,
Can't.
if my wife saw that I double tapped even a stranger's tit, let alone like a friendly tit, it would be the end.
So is that like, is that like a new version of, I guess, not really cheating? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Well, in the future, will that be there's probably already fights about that. There's probably couples that have
Sure.
dinner arguments about, so, how was your day? Oh, it's fine. It's on Instagram, and I noticed you liked, fat ass 420s, tit pic there.
Right. Or, oh, so you followed 3 new Suicide Girls today, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't that special?
Isn't that special?
You know, it's interesting, though, because I don't know much about Snapchat. My wife, Erica, is getting into doing Snapchat, and it's fun. Like, I can see the allure of doing that. It's just, I'm not going to do it. I tried it for like a week, and then I just felt weird. But
you feel old doing it.
Yeah. But something I learned about Snapchat, if you screen cap somebody on Snapchat, it tells them that you screen capped them. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
You know how many screen caps I've taken on Instagram and then sent it to a friend, like making fun of something?
Yeah.
Or been like, oh boy.
Doesn't do that on Instagram, though.
Not yet. It will.
Oh,
it
eventually.
will. It's just a matter of fucking time.
If you think about the Snapchat, when that first came out a few years back, a lot of my friends were on it. A lot of my family members were on it. Just as like, because it came out around the same time as like Words with Friends and just, you know, shit to kill time during the day. Play a game with your friends, or they'll send you a picture and you can write on it or whatever. So I did it for a while. I'm like, this is kind of lame. Like, what's up with that? And so I quit it, and it kind of just went away for a little bit, and then came back in the form of, you can send a dick pic. You know what I mean? Like, I started hearing about that, like, man, this chick Snapchatted me her tits. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even think about that's an option.
Right.
Because it goes away.
And if you screen cap it, they know.
They do know. So you're a creep. But here's the thing. They send it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like if you send a tit or a dick, then you should expect said pic to be saved to a device.
Definitely. Yeah.
But man, you know, I know we do a lot of, you know, nostalgia talk and looking back on this show. But man, I miss that. I missed MISSED. Not that I miss it because I never had it.
Yeah.
I missed the boat on booby pics.
Yeah.
I think I've sent one lewd photo.
Was it even yours?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was a friend's.
Google image search dick pics.
Yeah. It was just this huge hulking pecker. No, but
and it was green. It was weird.
Yeah. It was a drawing, and I said it was mine. No, I went through this phase it was probably 2 years ago, where I was feeling kind of horny, as they say in the rap songs, and I sent a couple penis pics to my wife.
Oh.
Totally not well received.
Yeah.
She just said that she laughed. Like, I chubbed up. I tried to get all
you getting all sexy.
Trimmed, like good angle, good lighting. Put a fisheye lens on my iPhone. Tried to get that perfect shot, and I guess she just laughed. You know, thankfully she didn't show anyone because I would have been super embarrassed. But
I think I've sent one.
Just one?
Well, no, I've sent several, but one pic.
Just the one.
Yeah.
Like that.
It was a great angle. Yeah, it's good angle, good lighting.
Like that perfect.
It was a good day.
It's like that perfect photo that like Paul Stanley would use on any of his social media, because you know he doesn't look like that anymore.
No.
But it was the perfect lighting, perfect day.
Great, yeah.
Perfect girth.
Get it out there. And then you just snap it and you send it, and then you keep that.
And just use the hell out of it.
Just use it. I don't even know. It was a long time ago. I did, speaking of screen save things, you've heard of the program, I'm blank on it. A lot of podcasts use it for phone calls.
Skype?
Skype.
Yeah.
Okay. You heard of like Skype being Skype sexing.
Skype-ing? So jacking off on Skype.
Yeah. So I did and then I did a screen grab of that, not knowing that it makes a dinging sound when it happens.
Oh no.
It's like, ooh, ding. I'm like, oh, fuck. And she immediately goes, she stops and she goes, this was in the past, not my wife.
Sure.
Long in the past.
Years ago.
And she was in the middle of the deed, and she hears that ding, and she stops. She goes, "Did you just fucking take a picture?" I'm like, "No."
Oh no.
It was weird, but just saying like that kind of shit, it has to happen all the time.
Yeah, I think that if we were younger, or maybe single, or more open, or whatever, there's probably this world of these rules that we don't understand.
Oh yeah,
and I think then and only then is when I start to feel old.
I think about that all the time, though. I mean, again, I use an outdated podcasting app for my shit. I feel like I'm so far away from that even I feel like I'm like 5 years behind. You know what I mean? So I'll bring up something and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, old man? That was like 4 years ago. I'm like, oh, what's hip now? I'm not even gonna go down that hole. I'm content with where I am. My hat might tell you otherwise. But I have no intentions of being cool anymore.
Right.
Like, that's kind of gone away.
I still battle with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still battle with the things that I think will keep me either young or cool.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I would say the other 75, 80% of the time, I'm the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. Like, I just want nothing to do with it. But then I'll start to feel guilty and then, like, try to make up for it.
Yeah.
Like, yesterday I went to the gym. For the first time in months. I was home alone. I had nothing to do all day. I was caught up on all my responsibilities. For once in a very long time, I was bored. I don't get bored very often. I'm kind of a busybody. I can't really sit still usually. Mm-hmm. So I can find something to do all the time.
Have a couple of projects open.
I ran out of shit to do. So
you ran to the gym.
So I drove to the gym, which is walking distance from my house, but I drove there because it was hot. And I show up, and I don't know about you, but I'm not a public shower fan.
No, never been a fan of that.
No. And I'm not even I don't like to change there.
No.
Like, I'd rather just get in my car all stinky when I'm done. And
it's your car.
Yeah, just drive home and leave your windows cracked when you get home. Be fine in the morning. So I go and I get on the treadmill, and I do this thing. Kind of like running, but a lot slower and a lot less stress.
Like walking?
Kind of, but a little faster than that.
Mall walking?
A little faster. Not quite jogging.
Jolking?
Something in between.
Wogging.
There.
You were wogging.
I was wogging, yeah. So I wogged 2 miles, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. Mm-hmm. I broke a sweat, I was getting the blood pumping.
Yeah.
I'm not in the shape. I'm not a big guy, but I'm just not really in the shape to run 2 miles off the couch,
Right.
I'm working my way up to it, starting yesterday. So I walk my 2 miles or jog my 2 miles, somewhere in between. And when I'm done, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go pop in the bathroom and go take a whiz before I leave. And I walk in, and man, there's this old dude. Have you ever been to the Y or any gym where it's an old brick interior?
Yeah.
So when you go into the locker room, you're walking down a white hallway, and you take a right, and immediately after you go in, it snakes, and then bam, you're in there.
Yeah. You're in the den. You're in the devil's den.
There's the smallest angle of to where you're not going to see a naked dude's ass or something. So I walk in, just going to go take a piss, and there is, dude, I kid you not, there is a 300-pound, 6.5-foot tall dude just standing there checking his phone, dick out. Dude was completely naked, didn't even have socks and shoes on. I'm talking fucking naked as the day he was born.
Now, did he appear like he just got out of the shower, was going into the shower?
He was not wet. He was not wet.
Did he have a towel within his vicinity?
I don't know. I could not stop looking at his dick.
Okay, so you hear comedians talk about that quite a bit. I've experienced that in my time going to a gym or two. It's a thing, and I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know if it's something that you hit a certain age, and it's like, I'm just going to go down to the gym, going to stand around with my dick out.
and check my phone for what seemed like an eternity as I was walking by.
Right.
Because, of course, these perverts down at the Y put the bathrooms on the far end of the locker room. So you have to like run the gauntlet of gray pubes and dicks to get to the bathroom, to get to the toilet. So I go by and I can't help but look. I'm just like, you do that thing where you're like not looking, but you're kind of like out of your periphery. You're like,
it's something so strange that you're like,
it's like a fucking car crash, dude. A big hairy.
Did his dick look like a car
It was
crash?
a fucking long dick.
He had a big dick.
It was huge. Maybe I'm just used to mine. I don't know. So I go back to piss, and I get to thinking about this dick. No, I get to thinking.
I'm jerking off thinking about this.
Yeah, I just whip it out. No, I go back there, and they have a sauna.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this sauna has always intrigued me. Because what sounds better after a walk, a 2-mile walk,
than a hot sauna?
Than a sauna. Okay, so I'm curious. What's the sauna etiquette? I was in basketball shorts, t-shirt, my shoes and socks. That's it. Well, I had underwear on too.
You wore your shoes and socks into the
into the bathroom.
Oh, you're prepping to go into the sauna. Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't quite entered yet. So I'm reading the rules on the sauna, and there really are no rules about what to wear, what not to wear,
right?
How long to be in there. It's basically just no food or drink, like don't leave a towel in there, things like that. So the door is real foggy. It's one of those glass doors, and it's not a very big sauna. I mean, it's the size of like maybe like a small bathroom. So I peek in. I'm like, I want to see what this sauna's all about. And I expected like, beautiful wood grain, like some hot stones.
Like, hot stones on like a pillar, like a nice pillar.
Maybe the smell of eucalyptus, something like that.
Yeah.
But instead, I open the door, and there's another fucking butt-naked dude. This time, he's like 50, a Spanish descent, I would say. Fucking his balls were just cascading over the side of the bench, just like a melted candle. And of course, the first thing you look at, it was like that. I was just like, where am I?
What is this place?
Get me out of here.
It's like some fucked up Narnia that you ended up going into.
Yeah, but with dicks. It was so weird. And I'm not a homophobe. I don't care. Whatever. But it was just like, dude, this is the most dicks I've seen in years.
Just back-to-back dicks.
Within like 10 seconds of each other. I saw 2 different flavors of penis.
Do you think they were together? Do you think they came to the gym together? Do you think they knew each other? They have to know each other. They probably go there every fucking weekend.
Yeah.
Steve. Good to see you, Steve.
Or no, what if they're like lovers and that's their thing? It's like, all right, you go up the front and present. Act like you're checking your phone. And then text me when old boy's on his way to check out the sauna. I'm going to roll my balls out onto the floor. And hope he bites.
Because that thing that people really love, saggy balls.
Oh, saggy sauna balls.
Dude. Okay. I feel like I have the balls of like a 50-year-old man. They're pretty droopy,
That's weird. I have the balls of an infant.
Inside?
Yeah.
But sauna balls? Like if you take already loose old man balls.
You're talking Turkish taffy.
Dude, the drop's got to be 6 inches, I would assume. For the lack of elasticity ground. And from the ground.
These balls, Josh, I can't. It was like fondue.
Yeah.
It was like a cheese fountain.
Like when you get like a cheese stick, like a fried cheese stick,
yes.
And you pull it in half and then it just hangs there for a while.
That's what it was like. It was like an orange in a Walmart bag.
One orange?
I don't know. But it was there.
It seems like.
So I open the door, get an eye full of testicles again, and my brain is just spinning.
Yeah,
my endorphins were going. Yeah. I had just walked 2 miles, for God's sake. Yeah. I mean, I was an animal.
Yeah.
I was famished. And I saw it, and I was just like, get me the fuck out of here. I didn't pee. I was angry.
How did you get yourself out of it? Did you just calmly shut the door? Did you go, God?
No, I didn't. I didn't react. Like, I literally opened the door, saw it, froze for probably, which was too long. And then without moving any of my body, just released my grasp from the door. The door, it was one of them slow closing doors. Seemed like an eternity. The door slowly closed as like a tuft of steam came out of the door. And I sat, I stood, well, I wasn't sitting, I was standing.
Did you make eye contact?
Ball contact only. Just dick. I didn't even see the man's face. I don't know if he had a mustache or a head, for that matter. Just nuts.
Yeah.
Brown, long balls. I want to get in this sauna.
Yeah.
But I can't sit where those balls were.
Well, if you want that.
Have you been in a sauna?
Oh, yeah.
Have you been in a public sauna? Oh, not public, but you know.
Yeah.
Are there public saunas?
Like you just go to?
Uh-huh.
Sure. I mean,
free?
That's what a gym is, right?
Well, it's not public. I'm a member.
An apartment that I lived in had one. It's been to several hotels that have had them. They're very nice, but it is weird when a fella just comes on in, dick out. It's even more weird when you're with your sister on a road trip, thinking, there's no one in this pool room. We'll just hang out and sit in the hot tub and swim, whatever. There's a sauna. Cool, let's just go hang out in there for a minute. Sitting there. Turn the sauna. It's not a stone, it's one of those electric ones.
Yeah.
It starts to get steamy, get hot. We're just sitting there just bullshitting, talking. And then the door opens and this fucking dude walks in. Towel off. I'm like, whoa, dude. Inappropriate. That's inappropriate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe, I don't know if it's like what the 90s, like truck stops were in the 90s, or you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like, is it a meetup spot? Or is it just the last vestige, whatever, for a man to just be completely free with himself, dude, and let it all literally hang to the floor?
Do that shit at home. Why do I have to be subject
to kind of
4 balls,
man.
2 dicks, and God knows how many pubes?
Sure.
A veritable forest.
Well, I would assume they'd have to clean that on the daily, right?
I hope so. And what sad 17-year-old college dropout girl has to scrub some dude's ass crack off of a sauna bench?
It's probably that, or a dude who's really wants to be a personal trainer, but he's got to go up the rungs. His first job is to clean the pubes.
Like the girl from Broad City.
Yeah, the ball sweat off of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of ball sweat, we're back from Austin. And would you hand me one of those Anthem Ouroboros, please?
Sure will.
You know, sometimes I get a thirst, and the only thing that can quench it is a dark, heavy, tasty Anthem Ouroboros stout.
Yum.
Yummy going down.
That's a good crack.
That was a good crack.
That's a good crack.
So yeah, okay, so without much further ado, we're going to get to the episode here. Colin Butler. All right, so we're here in Austin.
Austin, Tejas.
With our good friend Colin Butler.
Hello. Welcome to the show, Colin.
Thank you. Hi.
And I got to say, this has been a long time coming. Wanted to have you on the show ever since episode 1. And now we're here. Josh and I came down to Austin this weekend. And basically all we've done is ate.
I mean, we've done more than that, but it does seem like we've done nothing but eat. But like you said, as we were eating burgers earlier, maybe it's just that we're older.
That's what I was thinking. We're just old people now, and what else is there to do besides eat and drink?
Well, I brought that up when we were eating our delicious burgers earlier, 30 minutes ago? When we used to come down, and you've lived here for a while, Colin, but when I would come visit, we would go out and we'd drink, have a good time, and now it's like we just buy beer at the gas station and go eat a lot of food, come back to the apartment, check our phones, then go eat again in about 30 minutes.
Have a beer and then go eat.
So yeah, I want to start off the show. If you're listening to this, thank you very much. And if you are listening to this, you probably already know, but it's my duty to plug away. And it's boyspodcast.com. It's a portal to all things boys. It's our social media, links to all of our episodes, and a wonderful golden shining donate button. And if you click that button, you can give us a little bit of your hard-earned money to keep this going.
Keep it afloat.
It was quite a trek to get down here. So we came down here just to podcast. So, if you could help pay for our gas money, that would be great. Bandwidth, microphone cables, because we break those about once an episode.
You guys have some serious gear.
Serious gear?
Serious gear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice setup you got here. We're actually, just to set the table here, so to speak, we're sitting in your dining room, which is totally different from our usual setup.
Yes.
I really dig it though. We've got the mixer here in front of us, and we have this awesome purple lamp above our heads, and it's really setting the mood. Kind of gives me like a blacklight feel.
It's got that.
It's like it's blacklight light.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so boyspodcast.com, and
boyspodcast@aol.com if you'd like to email.
Is that real?
Yes.
AOL?
Yeah. AOL. It's very real.
Can you still sign up for AOL email?
Yes, you can.
Wow.
And the AIM does work.
Huh.
I was putting the password in incorrectly.
So yeah, I want to start off the show. Yesterday we ran around, ate some food, and we decided to take a dip in the pool here. And so we had a beer. We're in the sun. It's not too hot. I'd say it's around 92 probably yesterday. Wasn't as hot as it usually is.
It was reasonable.
Yeah.
The sun was out.
It was nice.
Partly cloudy, real nice. Had a nice pool. So we found some floaty devices. I guess you could call them that.
Floaties.
What do you call what I was laying in?
I don't know what the official name is for that.
It was a mesh
Float bed?
float.
Some
Yeah,
sort
what do you
of-
call
a
those?
flotation device. I don't know.
It's
was
the long one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
did you lose headphones? Oh, I did.
No, I'm
Hold
still,
on.
I'm still there.
Quality. Oh boy. Okay, hold on.
Let me just edit this out.
My headphones gone. Again, the pile of shit. There it goes. You guys good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
So we're laying in the pool. I find a long flotation device that you can lay on, relax. And I've noticed as I get older, when I go on these little mini vacations, I find it hard a lot of the time to relax. Hold on. This is like super shitty. Yeah, hold on.
Nope.
Okay. Are you guys good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. We'll start that over. So a lot of the times when I go on these mini vacations nowadays, I find it really hard to relax. And as I was sitting in this pool, sipping a delicious beer, face in the sun, getting some of those wonderful sun rays, I finally got to this happy place. I got to this relaxation place. I'm laying back, beer in hand, sunglasses on, just eyes closed, finding my peace. And for a split second, I found my peace. And then out of nowhere, I got this searing pain in my balls. And what would you say my reaction was like?
Classic is probably the only word. The arm flail.
It was a flail, yeah.
It was definitely a what the fuck kind of a reaction. And then immediately like that hurt, man.
I believe the reaction was, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Who did that? You hit me in the testicles.
Yeah.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Did I say testicles?
Yeah.
Oh, because there was a lady out there
Yeah.
accompanying us. Not us, but accompanying the space.
She was laying out reading a book.
Yeah. So a volleyball came out of nowhere when I was in my happy space and hit me right in the balls. And come to find out, my good friend Colin Butler was the guilty party.
I overshot. I wasn't aiming for your balls. So I want to apologize officially on, what is this, on air?
On record.
On record.
Yes.
And say that I'm sorry for hitting you in the balls.
It was such a perfect nut shot
Yeah.
that I couldn't even be mad. Like for a split second, I was like, what? And then I just laughed to myself because first of all, I had no idea it was coming. A lot of times when you get hit in the nuts, you kind of see it coming.
At least like a split second before.
Yeah, and that's all you need.
Yeah, I don't think it's something I could do again if I tried. I just fucking threw it.
Dude, it was all ball.
Yep.
Like
Literally.
the way the ball to ball contact, the way I was laying and the way that ball hit me in the crotch, it couldn't have hit me more square in the nuts. And I went through that gamut of feelings, like the angry, sad, and then my stomach started hurting. Like you feel like you got to poop.
Yep.
And yeah, I was like, who the fuck did that? Oh, you? Thanks. And I was so mad for just a second. And then I kind of laughed it off. And it got me to thinking, growing up, that could be maybe one of the worst things that happens to you as a young man.
Dude, I don't remember the last time I was hit in the balls, like where it really hurt like that. It's been a long time.
Do you think that there's like a sliding scale that as you get older, you get hit less in the balls?
Oh, yeah. I think
It's less and less frequent the older you get.
Well, you're not engaging in activities where you're typically going to get hit in the balls.
Have you
as
ever
often.
experienced severe ball trauma or been hit in the balls?
I mean, Yeah, multiple times throughout my life. But I think the one that comes to mind was 4th grade. It was time for recess, and it was raining outside, so we had to have indoor recess. So we were all, a bunch of 4th graders in this little classroom. Everybody's going nuts. You're letting out all this energy. All the kids are running around, losing their minds. And this girl comes up to me, and out of nowhere, she just kicks me in the balls. And my only reaction was to punch her square in the stomach.
Like, was it like a 1-2?
It was just like a reaction. It was just like, and I just, I mean, it wasn't hard. I was, it was in 4th grade,
right?
And I wasn't trying to hurt her, but it was just a reaction, and I got sent to the principal's office.
How did she react?
She was like, I knocked the wind out of her, I think, but and she went and told on me, and so I had to go to the principal's office, and they explained, you don't hit people, but you definitely don't hit girls.
Did you get in trouble? Like, did you suffer any consequences at school?
I don't think so. No.
Did she suffer any consequences?
No. Well, I don't think so. I think they pulled us both aside separately and talked to us, but nobody got expelled or anything like that.
Well, I mean, the girl should have been told, "Hey, you don't kick people."
Yeah,
in the
she was.
ball. Okay,
I assume she was, but it's funny because we went, from then on. I think we went to high school together, and we always just, I don't know. After that, it was never the same. Our relationship wasn't the same as far as friends.
Did you have this mutual connection? Like, she was always the girl that kicked you in the balls?
Kind of like we would see each other in passing and just kind of give each other that look, where you squint your eyes at each other. So
I just imagine you walking by in the hall, and like you kind of put your hands in front of your crotch, and she kind of like cradles her hands in front of her stomach.
I'm sure now we would go back and laugh about it. But
do it again.
That's the nut shot that sticks out to me, I think.
Have you had any traumatizing ball experiences?
I mean, nothing hospital worthy, but I definitely, I had a girlfriend in high school. She loved kicking dudes in the balls all the time for no fucking reason.
That's just not cool.
No, me a lot. I know Matt Harris got kicked in the balls quite a bit, and she thought it was funny. No, that's not funny.
It's not funny. It's not cute.
No, it hurts.
It's mean.
Since we all went to high school together, I want to know who this person is, but you don't have to say her name right now.
Oh, her name was Robin Gunter.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Classic ball kicking Gunter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The experience I had was there was the coffee shop in close to our high school, Mocha Madness. Mm-hmm. It was where we hung out and Christian bands played and all that stuff. We were playing hacky sack out in front of Mocha Madness one night, and a buddy of mine, the hack went to him, and he just like reared back and kicked his foot as hard as possible, and his shoe came off, and it was a shell toe. And it went straight for my crotch, and the sack, or the hacky sack, not my sack, the hacky sack and his shoe, it was like a boom, boom, right in the balls.
Oh, double shot.
Speaking of double, I doubled over in pain, grabbed my stomach, laid on the ground, and I was like dry heaving. Mm-hmm. It was so bad that I was on the brink of asking to go to the hospital. Because I thought that maybe my balls were pushed up inside my body, or I ruptured a ball.
Dude, it feels that bad.
Yeah.
For a while.
You kind of like, it's sort of like in the wind knocked out of you. You kind of keel over and your sides hurt, and you just kind of,
and then you feel like you have to shit.
Yeah.
Is that just me, or do you guys feel that?
I mean, it affects that entire area. Like it doesn't really start in the balls. It starts in the stomach, and then eventually travels to the balls and anus.
Right. It's just it's bad news all the way around.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're down here in Austin.
So again, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm not mad. Like I said, I was mad for a split second, but it was too perfect to be angry, and I don't hold any grudges against you. I promise. So there's that.
There's that.
Yeah.
So speaking of eating in Austin. There's a lot of kitschy restaurants around here, like a bunch. Like, I haven't been here in like 6 years, so everything. I mean, a lot of shit's still there, but there's a bunch of new stuff. And on the way down, Robbie and I were joking and talking together, and he brought up Bread Zeppelin.
It was an idea for a sandwich shop that I had many years ago, and I believe that we threw some ideas around for some specialty items, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember them on the way down.
Oh, dude, I don't remember.
I do remember.
I remember that name, though.
Bread Zeppelin, and just picture the classic Led Zeppelin album, but instead it would be like a sub sandwich on fire.
Right.
Led Zeppelin font. You know the drill. The only sandwich I could remember was the Lonely Hearts Club sandwich was one. And I believe there was one called the Black Dog, and it was a charred.
It was a hot dog.
Charred hot dog. I couldn't remember anymore. And then it got me to thinking that after that, I had a better idea. And it was going to be a metal-themed Mexican restaurant. And it was Taco Negative is what it was called. And a couple of the dishes were, well, there was the quesadilla side. There was the slip nachos, tostadica. And what was the last one? Do you remember?
Sepultortas.
Sepultortas. And that's what we call tarding out when we're driving in the car. Is that bad? Hold on. Is that offensive?
To say tard?
Well, if you're stuck in a car with one of your best friends and you're driving to see one of your other best friends, I'd say about what? An hour and a half into the drive. It's about a 7-hour drive.
Right.
That soon?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
It was, well, first of all, we had worked all day.
Yeah.
We left straight from work. So we were both like beat. And then we're driving down here. And yeah, about an hour and a half south of the city we come from, you start just kind of getting silly and like doing voices.
No, it definitely happens.
I guess I know that's not politically correct to say, but that's what we've always called it.
It's probably not the most PC thing.
No,
to call
definitely
it,
not.
It's what it is.
It's what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we were going through all these old inside jokes, and then so we stop in Dallas to get some food, and about an hour south of Dallas, we're just cruising along, making good time, excited to get down here, and about an hour south of Dallas, it starts raining, and we're like, oh, okay, no big deal, a little rain, and then after that, it just gets torrential. It was the worst rain that I've ever driven in my life. And it was that time of evening where it's not quite dark, completely dark yet. Dusk, I believe they call it.
Yeah.
Late dusk.
Yeah, just past dusk.
Where everything's just kind of silver and it's kind of hard to see anyways. Dude, this rain coming down was fucking ridiculous. I mean, how many times did I say, I think I need to pull over. I don't know if I can do this.
Quite a few. You do that thing where you're kind of hunched down towards the steering wheel. It's like maybe that'll make my vision better. Because it was coming down in like sheets. Like you couldn't see through it more than like, what, 5 feet?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I've driven rain like that where you're like you're almost too focused.
Yeah, you're white knuckling the steering wheel.
And you're like kind of, you're tense and your muscles are all clenched together. So yeah, it's
and it feels like you're stuck in like this like space-time continuum.
Yeah. Where
I was in the fast lane, but I wasn't going fast. I was only going probably like 40, 45 miles per hour. I mean, it was fucking pissing rain. And I could only see about 5 feet to 10 feet in front of the car. And I was just focusing on that yellow line. If you're in the fast lane, you know, the line on your left side. Just so scared, so nervous, so anxious.
Especially dealing with these fucking Texas drivers.
Dude, it's the worst. Yeah. I don't drive a very big car. So these semis were just blowing by me. And then these like huge Suburbans and big like F-350s blowing by me. And then splashing more water from the other side. Then came the hydroplaning. We would hydroplane every once in a while. And dude, that shit is scary.
Yeah, very scary.
Especially when you can't see like in front of you at all.
Or especially when the car in front of you doesn't have fucking brake lights. That happened a couple of times.
Or when they don't turn their lights on. They don't. Yeah, that's the worst. Don't get me started. I have road rage.
Do you?
Yeah.
You seem like a pretty calm guy most of the time.
Not in the car. Anything goes.
Some of
the things that I've yelled at people, I would never say outside of my car.
Is it worse than tarding out?
I guess so. It's more angry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have a go-to thing that tends to come out more often?
No, it's like
not?
Tourette's. I'll just blurt
random.
Yeah, just random stuff.
Well, yeah. I'll say this. I come down to Austin maybe I'd say once a year, once every year and a half, probably something like that. Sometimes used to come down twice a year. Yeah. And this city has grown so much over the last I'd say 7-8 years,
it's
probably
insane.
10 years. The amount of people on the road here and the amount of people everywhere you go.
Yeah. I think it's on average 150 people move here every single day. Which is crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And like earlier today when we were running around doing our classic run around, it's really fun having this guy vacation, this guy getaway or whatever. But when we were doing our run around, so many people, so many high rises, so many places that weren't here 5 years ago, weren't here 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Or different places that take old vacancies or swap out at places that used to be here.
Yeah.
It's like a totally different city. And I don't mean that in a bad way because it's bound to happen. I brought that up yesterday. I'm like, some people might get mad about a city growing. Oh, there's too many people and it's too hip and too many high rises and condos and things like that. But it's really, it's bound to happen. What are your thoughts on that as far as somebody that's lived here for a long time?
I guess there's pros and cons to it. It's good for the city. It's good for the economy. Just having to deal with the annoying things like traffic and parking and
lines.
Yeah, waiting in line for anything and rent and real estate prices, that kind of thing. That all sucks. But there are a lot of cool things to do as a result of that. There's been a lot of cool businesses that have started here. So I don't know, pros and cons. I try not to hate on it too much.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is like going through, like I said, I haven't been here in 6 years. So all the places that I wanted to go to, I didn't even recognize anymore because they're shrouded in these high rises. And it kind of looks odd, almost like a dream. Because you see like these older buildings, these like stone brick buildings, and then right around them, like growing giant weeds are these modular, modern sky rises. And it's like, am I in Inception or something? Like what's going on? It's weird,
It is weird. And it's also weird that as I get older, we talked about this a minute ago, but coming down, we used to come down here and like party, like go out and just get trashed and like be ridiculous and stupid. Reminds me of a time where a good friend of mine saw my penis. We were leaving a bar down on 6th Street, and I had to piss. So I just whipped it out and peed by the car. And apparently Matt was driving his truck at the time, and we all piled in it. And I guess that I was standing right where he could see my dick in the rearview mirror of his truck. And then there was another time, you were there, where I just had to pee. We were on 6th Street, so I climbed up in some bushes. And I took a piss, and I looked to my right, and I found a bag of shirts. I found a brand new, unopened bag of like Hanes XXL t-shirts. And first I thought, like, where did these come from? And then secondly, I immediately took them home, and I believe I left them at your house as kind of a parting gift for the weekend.
A bag of shirts?
I think I hid them. You had some posters in frames that were like leaning against the wall, and I put the shirts behind the posters. Did you find those?
I don't remember.
Oh. Yeah. But now we come down, and again, we eat, we hang out, and
it's 8:30 and we podcast.
Yeah, and last night, okay, so the first night we came down and we crashed, and then last night we go out, go to Liberty, walk around a little bit, hit a few places, and we were back by what, 11:30?
If that, man, it was pretty early. And but one thing is like I was really wanting to like, this is gonna be the night we're gonna go out. Let's go out and fucking have, not like rage party, but let's fucking get drunk. And yeah, by after like the third bar, and like that's literally like one round at each thing, you're just not like tired. You just start feeling kind of full.
Like, I think it's tired. We just can't hang anymore.
Yeah,
we're just old.
Yeah,
it's a hard thing
I think it's what happens.
It's a hard thing to grasp and to accept. And I wonder that often. I mean, even today, it's like, we turned in last night before too late. I mean, it was probably like 1, maybe.
I think it might have been
earlier.
Yeah,
okay, let's say midnight. Slept till about. That's the other thing, though. Slept well, but woke up pretty early. I remember coming down here when I was younger, and like we'd just sleep all day.
Yeah,
like we just lay around and then get up, go out, repeat. Over and over. Last night, let's say we went to bed together at midnight, and
we snuggled.
We spooned like 3 little spoons. Woke up at like, I don't know, 8:30, 9. Got up, ate. I texted Erica, and she's like, "What are you dads doing up so early? You're on vacation." She's like, "Sleep in." We were up and ready to hit the door.
You gotta beat the rush, And there's 24 usable hours in every day. So get up and use it.
I think you just get programmed. You're used to waking up at a certain time every day, and it's hard to turn that off.
Yeah,
especially on like a short little vacation.
For me, waking up at 9 is sleeping in. Like that's crazy sleeping in.
That's insane. I'm like, that's good chunk of my day already gone if I sleep till 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then this morning when we were eating breakfast, I had this weird like moment. We were at a local diner eating. Delicious. And we had a really nice waiter, great people. But I noticed the waiter that was waiting on the table next to us. And he was your classic, when I think keep Austin weird, he was like your classic keep Austin weird dude.
Was the dude with the hat?
Yeah.
Wait, the older guy who refilled our coffee the first time?
Anybody need a splash?
Yeah.
I believe...
I think that's what he said.
Did he not have like a wrist full of bracelets and stuff?
Well, let's go from the top down.
Okay.
He had like some sort of like
it was
pork
like
pie.
It was like a slash hat almost.
It was like a small top hat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Flower crown around the top of the hat. Okay. Curly mustache. Yeah. Like curly, beach muscle man mustache.
Yeah.
Kind of scraggly goatee. He was wearing a woman's shirt.
A blouse.
A blouse.
It was kind of puffy.
It was like a V-neck puffy, and it said some sort of Charlie's Angel spoof on the front. Then under that he had like another shirt, and then he had these bright red pants on that were tucked into brightly colored socks. I checked this guy out for a while.
I was going to say I didn't notice all those details.
I'm a people watcher.
Clearly.
Yeah, he had these bright socks tucked into his pants, tucked into the top of his socks. Then he had combat boots on, and yeah, wrists were full of bracelets, watches, things like that. And he was just your classic like weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
And
been here from the start.
Probably. Yeah, he was an older gentleman. And it just...
You should have asked him to come on. He's probably more interesting than me.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Oh, I was going to say he's on his way out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There was a moment where it was just like, it was that like, wow, Austin's not weird anymore. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like, oh, Austin's not weird, it's not cool. It's just, when I was younger, I thought this place was like, whoa, come down and go to the record stores and go to the music stores and go shop and stuff. And like, and again, not trying to be negative, but this trip when I came down, I'm like, dude, I'm getting old. Like, this is just like same shit I saw last time.
I will say this. Yesterday we went to, what was that place called? Ear or something? What?
End of an Ear?
End of an Ear record store. Yep. Pretty much empty. It was nice. Go to Waterloo Records today. And I was getting anxious.
It was packed.
It was so many people in there. And I'm looking around. I'm like, why are you in here? What are you?
Well, why were we in there?
Buying records? But they didn't seem like the record buying type. You know what I mean? Weirdos. You know what I mean? Is that?
Yeah, I think it's just a different kind of music store. End of an Ear is like kind of DIY feeling.
If you're like a local, you go to End of an Ear, and Waterloo is a little more touristy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's in that zone down there. And it's also weird how, times have changed here, and 6th Street and the classic stomping ground of, our 10 years ago or whatever, is no longer like, I mean, I guess it's obviously still popular.
Yeah. There's probably more people than ever down there. It's just a completely different crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It used to be everyone had to go there. So if you were like, if you were a frat bro, you went down there. If you were a hipster, you went down there. If you were a punk rocker, you went down there. But now it's all spread out, and everybody kind of has their own little like cliques and their own little areas that they go to. And 6th has just stayed much more. It's gotten, I don't want to say it's gotten, can I say ghetto? But
I don't. Yeah, it's just like broy.
Yeah,
it's like fratty. It's like.
But people like to like get drunk and fight down there now. It's like it's not fun anymore. It
just feels like the last time I went down there was, I guess, the last time we came down. So that was like 2 years ago, I guess. And it just has this like amped up testosterone, broy, kind of rough, kind of. It's like a Walmart. It's like going to Walmart at like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. on a Monday.
Yeah.
Which,
Talking like the west side 6th Street?
Yes. Because, like the old 6th Street.
When we went last night, I was kind of not worried, but the last time I was there, like, almost got jumped. Because you used to have to park there because there's no parking and there's nothing.
Yeah, you're talking
there.
about the east side.
East side. Yeah, we went to the east side last night. And now it's just bumping, like, totally thriving area. But I mean, that's gentrification. Yep. And there were some pretty cool bars. I don't know if those bars were there 6 years ago.
No, definitely not.
They weren't?
No.
Everything just kind of...
I remember when I lived down here, and God, that was 10 years ago at this point, the east side of I-35 on 6 was like, it was mostly Spanish, and it was
dark.
There wasn't
no lights.
Yeah, it wasn't lit up. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was like residential, and it was like a lot of like lower income people lived over there. But now it's kind of gotten hip and cool, I guess.
It's weird, man.
Yeah. Times they are changing.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing? How's your experience here? You haven't been here in a long time.
Really good. I've pretty much gotten to do everything I wanted to do, and it's pretty much be old and just eat good food.
Eat and drink.
Eat good food and drink beer. And I kind of like what we've done. We found a little place, Drunk Texan, as I've coined it, right around the corner. It's a little mart, and just get a six pack every day. And maybe you drink all those. Maybe you don't. Probably don't. And you just get to try different varieties without having to go to a bar and spend $7 on one beer, and it tastes like shit. So you can just get, a sixer.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, we had kind of a funny moment last night.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it goes without saying that you were kind of in the party mood last night.
Yeah, I wanted to get out. I wanted to go do stuff.
And that, man, like, I wish that I would have been, but again, I think it's just getting older. I don't know. I'm slowing down, man. Mm-hmm. Like last night for me, it was kind of like, oh man, I just want to go back to the couch and check my phone, eat something, watch stupid shit on TV.
Yeah.
As I get older, man, going out and doing anything I wanted to do 5 years ago, it's like the bottom of my priorities now. Like I'd just rather chill or sleep and that's not what you do when you go out of town. I understand that. But so we're going to these bars last night, and we go to the Shangri-La, right? We walk in, and I had a few beers at Liberty, and we went to Zilker Brewing, and we go into Shangri-La, and you come up to me and you're like, hey man, what do you want? You want something? And I'm like, all right, you know what? It's a big moment. I think I'll have like a man's drink, not a man. Oh, that's not really a man's drink.
A cocktail.
I'll have a cocktail. I'll have something a little stronger. Maybe it'll put me in this good mood. Maybe it'll be the hurdle I can jump over into the home stretch of the evening.
Yeah.
So I find a sweet little booth in the corner. It's like a round booth, sparkly, tucked vinyl booth. And I'm like, dude, we're sitting there. It's great. And you so graciously offer to buy me a drink. And I'm like, yeah, dude, you know what? I'll have a gin and tonic. Spice it up a little bit. Yeah. A go-to. Simple. Easy. Anywhere you go, gin and tonic. Easy.
Can't fuck it up.
Come back to the table. And lo and behold, you set down this tall, fluted glass that's filled with some sort of orange...
Peach,
orange colored, peach colored, all the same. A peach icy blended cocktail concoction with a fucking umbrella in the top and a pink straw sticking out.
Yeah.
And while I was very thankful for the gesture, it took me a moment to process all of this, because I was like, okay, how do I react to this? I finally got out of my comfort zone and was like, all right, I'm gonna have a drink.
So you're saying I fucked up?
It was in I understand the intent was good.
Right.
And it was funny. I did chuckle. But then I was met with this decision. What do I do? Do I drink this sugary, icy, fruity beverage and waste that opportunity of having the one good drink that's not a beer? Or, do I down it? Do I say, no, I don't want this?
Do you high-low it?
Right.
Yeah.
I took a couple sips, trying to be a good sport, but man, it was so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
And very strong. And I felt bad because you were like, oh man, I'll get you something else. And I was like, no. And I think I even grabbed your arm. I was like, dude, I'm fine. I'll go grab a beer. It's no big deal. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then you got up and you made good on it.
I did.
And it was really sweet. But I just wanted to clarify, again, on the record, that you didn't have to do that, man. Did you feel bad?
My original thing was like, Colin and I were at the bar ordering drinks while you were manning the booth. And I was like, I want to get Robbie something cool, something nice.
And you thought that was cool?
Well, here's the thing. My mind immediately went to last time you and I got drunk together. We went to the Blink show and then went to the High Low afterwards, and you got a Pearl Diver. My thought was
also fruity.
That's close to a Pearl Diver. It'd be kind of funny, and maybe you'll like it. and you didn't. So like, fuck it, I'll take it back. Took it back, and I bought everybody's drinks. Got you G&T.
You did, and that was very sweet of you. Mm-hmm. The other thing I thought was funny though is that the 5-10 years ago me would never have wasted a drink.
Oh no!
Like I never would have poured it out. Like I would have just downed it.
Yeah.
And got something else.
Oh, I sent my drink back too. It was too much. Like,
you sent yours back?
Yeah, mine was almost full.
What did you get?
It was called a Happy Gilmore, and I kind of got it because of the name, because we've been tally-hoo-hooing all weekend, and tally-hoo-hoo, and it was Jameson based. So it was like basically a Jameson sweet tea, and it just wasn't very good. So I sent that back, paid for them both, and then got a round of G&Ts.
What did you say when you brought them back? Did you explain that I was being a dick or what?
No, I sat up there and I go, these sounded good. They're just not really doing the trick. Have a couple of gin and tonics. Okay. And then she rang me for the gin and tonics. I'm like, no, but I want to pay for these as well as the other drink too. Oh, okay. And they were cool. So they didn't really seem like it was weird or anything.
Did she charge you for all of them?
Yeah.
Rightly so. Yeah. And you ordered a
old fashioned.
Man.
That was the best drink to probably end the night on.
It was good, but I think I left a little bit in there. It was stiff.
To say the least. Yeah, I had a bit of a stiff
drink.
It was a good old fashioned.
A good old fashioned? Mm-hmm. A good old fashioned. I took a sip of that and I was like, dude, like, whoa. That was truly a man's drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just, man.
Well, thank you.
Well, Robbie, Colin apologized for hitting your testicles. I'll apologize for ruining the possibility of you having a good night.
I definitely wouldn't go that far.
It was a rough day for you yesterday.
Yeah, you had a rough one.
You got hit in the balls and then you were handed a
fucking frou-frou beverage.
A frou-frou beverage.
I was just waiting to get like a wedgie or a noogie.
Yeah.
Is that bad to say now?
A noogie?
A noogie?
Just joking. I was just waiting for something else bad to happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't. We came home, watched TV, crystallized, and went to bed.
Mm-hmm. Drawing a blank there?
Yeah. So, I guess we need to give a little bit of backstory to you, Colin. We've all known each other since high school. Met in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You guys went to two different junior highs. No,
correct.
Yeah, we went to Choctaw Junior High.
You went to Como Parkman.
Yep.
And we all met in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I went on to play in a couple of bands together.
Yep.
And then you moved down to Austin, started playing in Pompeii.
Mm-hmm.
A while later, played a long time.
Yeah.
How long were you guys active in the Austin scene?
So I wasn't the original bass player, but they were a band for 10 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, like
before you joined?
This October, I think, is like 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
Oh, see, I thought you were an OG.
No, I'm the replacement bass player. He was played on the first record, founding member. So I was in the band for, I guess, 8 years. Mm-hmm. 8 out of the 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that 8-year span, you're living down here.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about how Austin's changed, things like that. Did you see the music scene change down here?
Yeah, big time. I don't even know if there is. I guess there is a music scene still, but I feel like now people really are only interested in like the touring bands that come through here, and I think we're lucky that we get there's a lot of good shows to go to, and it's usually all touring bands, bands that are really good, but there's not the camaraderie of a local scene. I feel like even from when the days that I started playing with Pompeii. Yeah, that's definitely changed. I don't really know what it is. It's hard to put my finger on what. I don't know if it has to do with like the popularity of electronic music. It seems like that's kind of like the thing now. Nope, people don't really want to go see a band unless it's a big band. That's what it seems like, at least here.
It's weird because even in Oklahoma, there's the weird thing about Oklahoma is there is this punk scene. There's this like underground punk scene. And it can be really big. Like some of these shows I've seen, a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of bands. But yeah, there's like this weird gap in the middle between like these super underground kind of just, how do I say this? Like kind of like come as you are type bands. Like they're just like, not the song, but like they just like, they can be good, they can be shitty, they can be, punk, they can be rock, they can be whatever. And there's like this big acceptance for that. And then, there's this huge gap in the middle. And then there's like touring bands that come through, and the shows are packed.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Things sell out constantly. Things are, but that middle ground is like, there's just, it's weird valley.
It feels like it almost doesn't exist anymore.
Well, the weird thing is like when we were waiting for our waiting, obviously, as you do here, for a table at the restaurant we ate breakfast at, I was flipping through the old Austin Chronicle. And I read backwards in magazines, and usually all your music stuff, ads for shows and venues and stuff like that. In Austin, in Oklahoma, it's like a page. And here it's like 6 pages long of like shows and venues and bands. So there's variety. I mean, it's like the live music capital of the world, right? Something like that.
That's what they say. That's what they say. I mean, there's still like tons of shows, but there's really not like, I feel like there's really not
a scene
anymore. There's some really, really awesome bands here. And there's some really awesome bands that have come from Austin and gone on to do really big stuff, but I feel like bands that are starting out now, I mean, it seems like it's just a small group of people, and it can be tough, I think.
So you've always been a bassman. You've always played bass. I don't know why I said it that way, but I've always wondered.
That's what bassmen do. They play bass.
4 strings.
Usually.
Generally.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, and we've never really talked about this, how you started playing bass and what led you to play that instead of guitar, because it usually goes that you have a group of buddies and everybody kind of plays guitar, and then
that's exactly what happened. So it's just like in junior high, so probably like 8th grade. My best friend and I, we decided we're gonna learn how to play guitar. We're gonna start a band. And we were young and naive. We didn't know what a bass was. So we both asked for guitars for Christmas, and we both got guitars. And then his younger brother actually got a drum set. So we thought we had everything we needed to start a band. So we learned how to play, and we were playing, crappy garage pop punk songs. And eventually we learned about this thing called the bass, and somebody had to pick. It was either him or me. And I don't remember exactly how, but I ended up being the guy that had to play bass, and I just stuck with it.
I miss those days so bad. It's funny. I don't want to say I miss them, because you obviously grow past those pretty quick, but you kind of hit the nail on the head, and it rang the nostalgia in my brain when you said, you didn't know any better. I was the same way. Like, I didn't know what a bass was for years.
Yeah.
I played guitar and like learned songs, but I didn't.
Yeah, you look up there and okay, those are both guitars. Like, you don't.
Or they're just different kinds of guitars.
Yeah, exactly.
Different sizes.
Yeah.
That's a bigger one. That's a smaller one.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't mean this to shit on bass players, but it always seems like that's the case. Is like, well, I started playing guitar.
Gotta do it. Yeah.
Someone's got to play bass.
Yeah.
But, I think bass is so cool. And like, I've never been a bass player. I've played bass in a couple bands, but I've always been that guy that's like a guitar player that just like can kind of play bass. I don't get it like a bass player would get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think it's funny that it's always that way. It's always like, well, I guess I'll play bass. And what was your first bass? So you were playing with Nick and Matt Morgan.
Nick and Matt Morgan, yeah.
2 buddies.
Yep.
2 old school buddies. And you guys were just playing like Green Day.
Yeah, Green Day and Blink-182 songs.
In the garage.
Yep, in their garage.
Their garage?
In their garage, learning how to play guitar as we were playing in a band. Yeah, we were terrible. And as we kind of learned how being in a band works and how songs work, eventually we were like, okay, there's this other thing happening that's not a guitar. And, eventually we figured out, that there's a huge difference between bass guitar and a regular guitar.
What was your first bass setup? Like you got your guitar, and then when you decided to jump to bass.
Yeah, I had a you want to know about like the gear and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
I got a Fender P bass, which is funny because that's what I play to this day. But that was my first bass. We found a used one at a music store. And then I had this, I don't even remember what kind of amp it was. It was this crappy little 115 that my parents, I think we found it like in the classifieds, like in the newspaper, because it was before Craigslist. And so we just found this weird old dude that was selling this little bass amp, and they bought it for me. God, I can't remember.
Was it like a crate?
No. It was like TubeWorks. That's what it was called.
Oh, I remember, okay, that's where I remember hearing TubeWorks, seeing TubeWorks.
Yeah, it was like black and yellow.
Super like 80s.
Super
like,
80s, yeah. He had probably gotten it in the 80s, but yeah, that was my first setup.
And he probably got it in the 80s, and he played it a little bit, and then it probably sat in a closet or a garage, and then he decided to call up the local newspaper.
Yeah.
And a lady answered the phone, and he told her the words that he wanted to place in the newspaper, and they charged him by the word.
Yeah, and you know this firsthand.
I do.
You used to work in the business.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think about that often. Classifieds in a newspaper, that still exists. In the Daily Oklahoman, which is like the big newspaper in Oklahoma City especially. Yeah, these classified ads still exist, and it blows my mind that people still use those.
It's so much more work that goes into it than just getting on Craigslist.
Sunday mornings, after worship, I used to love going in the living room, grabbing the Sunday paper, tearing it open, getting the classifieds, and looking in the musical instruments for sale section. It's mostly trumpets, a lot of trumpets, a lot of pianos, but every now and then it'll say bass. Like, what? Yeah. But then you have to call the guy.
Yeah, that's what we did. I think obviously I was a kid, so my parents ended up making the call, but I remember looking almost every day in the classifieds. It was like amp, but it was never bass amp. Then one day I saw one, and yeah,
because there was no guitar center.
Yeah, it was a weird time.
There was Jenkins, which never had that kind of stuff either.
They never had used stuff.
So Nick was playing guitar and Matt was playing drums.
Yeah.
Did they start off on like shitty gear, or were they the lucky ones that like their parents like maybe got them nice stuff?
No, they were like your average, typical beginner stuff. Like
Nick had like a Squire Strat.
He had a Squire Strat
with stickers all over it.
Yeah.
But Matt's drums weren't terrible. They were old Ludwigs.
I think, yeah, they were. Yeah, he actually had a decent kit. It was like a vintage, like 70s. I don't know if they weren't in like great condition.
They were like 70s Ludwig rockers.
Yeah. They were nice.
Man, but those magical times when you're young. And I remember my first like decent guitar rig, because my very first guitar was a piece of shit. It was just like, it was like a Sears catalog, not even and I don't mean that in like a cool, like vintage Japanese, like Tiesco or something.
Yeah.
It was literally like this 80s piece of shit that had like a speaker built into it. Total piece of shit.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. And then after that, it was just unplayable. It was a joke, and then my stepmom at the time, she gave me like this old Silvertone acoustic, and the action on it was like an inch high. Yeah. It was ridiculous. But, I was cutting my fingers learning how to play it and never got it set up, never even really knew how to tune it, and then, I started taking lessons, and my dad, he surprised me one day after one of my guitar lessons. I think after he knew I kind of wanted to stick with it, he surprised me with this Washburn. Like, it almost looked like a Gibson Explorer. It was like kind of pointy and very 80s looking.
I bet you loved it.
I did. I think the guy, it was like a signature of a dude from, I think, Quiet Riot.
Nice. Maybe
something like that. Super 80s. Yeah. Like looking back on it, it's like, God, that guitar was ugly, but I loved it. Yeah. Like, I absolutely
That's how I felt about my first rig. Like, all three of us now, we're like super into music gear, and we're big nerds, and we were always looking at new stuff. But back then it was like, that was your you weren't even thinking about getting new gear. Like, that was your amp and your guitar. And it meant the world to you, and it was the best. You weren't even concerned about upgrading or anything like that.
Dude, and that's the weird thing now. I love, like, as I get older, I realize, man, maybe I should have just been a guitar tech. Because I love getting gear, learning about gear. I love setting up guitars. Like, I do that more than I play it. I'll get a guitar. Well, here's how it goes. So I'll have a guitar or a bass or a pedal or what an amp, whatever. And I'll get it and I'll play with it for a little while. And then that next shiny thing starts sparkling in the distance.
Yep.
It might be a pedal, might be a new guitar, might be a set of pickups or something, whatever, piece of gear. And then I'll like get on YouTube and I'll watch a bunch of reviews.
Just go down that rabbit hole.
Read demos, get on message boards, find out what's the best possible way. Then it's on to like find the best price on that thing.
It's like, it's the hunt.
It is, dude. It's a hunt. And then I'll get it. Like, for instance, the new Strat I just got. It's like, I lusted after this color of guitar. Not even that guitar, but I was like, dude, I want a guitar in this burgundy mist. It's like this light, like, purple. I don't even know if it's purple or pink. I don't know.
It's like snow cone purple.
Yeah, it's like light.
But it's got like a gold
Yeah,
flaky. Yeah,
there's like
it's weird.
It's like iridescent and sparkly, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
it's not like Barney purple or anything.
No, it's a light. It's like a pastel purple. Yeah. But then again, it's not. But I wanted that finish so bad, and then I saw this guitar that was offered in that finish, and I was like, same thing. I dug deep into YouTube, like 5th or 6th page into the results, just trying to find like the perfect video for it.
Yeah.
Got on message boards, search. Did the thing where you get on eBay and like it will alert you when those keywords come up in a new listing. And then I saw one. I actually saw one at like 5 a.m. before work one day. I got up and I was getting ready for work and I was checking eBay, and I found one, and it was a good price. Just had been listed, snagged it right then. While it was still in the mail to me, I'm like hunting for the next thing. Oh man! And I don't mean that as in like, oh, I'm so rich I can afford it. I already like was thinking about selling that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna get it in. I'm gonna fix it up. Yeah. And I'm gonna flip it.
Yeah.
And
it's that flip bug, man. It bites you, and then like you're infected for like probably a week.
You were probably supposed to run a music store, is what you were supposed to do,
dude. I still to this day, man, fantasize about that.
Robbie's Shack,
the Flip Shack, and it would be Hawaiian themed.
Yep.
There would be a lot of like coconuts, grass
tiki
skirting,
torches,
tiki torches, those big tall like masks, tiki god masks.
Yep. Oh, there's where the accessories are. It's a tiki bar.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Strings and all that stuff.
I think I was destined to either do something like that or maybe just be a guitar tech, because I love like things that some people hate. Like Josh and I work with this guy at Keeley. He's 23 years old, fantastic guitar player. His name is Aaron Pierce. Mm-hmm. He came up to me the other day at work and he was like, "Man, one of these days, will you show me how, like the right way to string a guitar?" And I was like, "Of course, dude, I'd love to."
Yeah.
Like, oh, and like we get along really good at work. I feel like he's like my little brother or something. Like we have this really great relationship. But I thought, dude, first of all, this kid is fucking amazing at guitar.
Phenomenal.
He's really good. I've seen the videos. He's a little virtuoso.
He's badass. Yeah. But the fact that he asked me to do that, I was like, dude, I miss my calling. Because this kid's so good, but he's not, he's not 100% sure if he's doing this right.
Right.
And I was like, dude, you know how many guitars I've strung in my life? Hundreds. Mm-hmm. I've owned over 100 guitars in my life. Mm-hmm. I buy them, fix them up, sell them. And yeah, I think that maybe I miss my calling, because we all know I'm not that great at guitar. Like, I'm okay. But man, I love wiping stuff down. Mm-hmm. I love cleaning stuff up. I love the hunt. Like you said.
The hunt's probably the best part of it. But it's not the hunt. It's the flip. I wouldn't say you've missed your calling. I think you're still way young to do it. Like when you go to a music store, it's always ran by some older, not some old man, but an older guy who's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Like the South Austin music shop we went to.
Yeah,
those are all older gentlemen, and they're all just love what they do, man. Yep. Just love guitars.
Yeah, and I do. I love gear.
So you can do that. Give it like 10 years, you can do it. You know.
So let's go back to the garage. Let's go back to the Squire Strat and the white P bass,
Martin Stinger,
and the Tube Works. Mm-hmm. So did you guys actually ever play? Did you guys actually ever have a band together, like playing shows, like, or was it just kind of a garage fun deal?
It was like mostly a garage thing, and we would invite friends over to play with us. Like Josh played with us.
We had a band
dozens of times. Yeah. But I mean, we didn't like actively go play shows. We were just doing it for fun at the time.
That's not true. Because, I guess I met you at the Battle of the Bands.
Well, we had a few shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We definitely played the Battle of the Bands.
Mm-hmm. And we had to compare songs to make sure we weren't playing the same Green Day songs.
It's almost like we were rival bands or something. It was you and
me,
Bronson and
Drew.
Was it Drew Whitehead?
Drew Whitehead.
Yeah.
And some dude who played drums.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you're playing this Green Day song, so we'll play this Green Day song. Mm-hmm. So we're not playing this.
So who was better?
They were much better.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think we won. So
we didn't win either.
Yeah, somebody else won. We played the Battle of the Bands, and I think we played like a couple of like our friends' parties, but we never like went and booked shows anywhere. But we were also in Midwest City, and we were in high school, so it was hard for us to get a show.
Yeah.
Well, we played when I played with you guys. We were the Shanties. We played at Mocha Madness once.
That's true. We did.
Pretty fun show.
Yeah. I think we were just young enough that we didn't really know what we were doing yet. So
So let's fast forward a few years.
But the first real band I was in was actually a band with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how that went down. I remember, okay, so I started a band with a good friend of mine, Nick Johnson. And well, actually, no, let's go back a little bit further than that. I started a band with a guy named Danny and this drummer named Rory. And we were basically kind of doing the same thing. We were a little bit older, but we were doing the same thing, just playing like NoFX and Blink-182 and Green Day covers.
Yeah.
Maybe some MXPX thrown in there.
Sure.
Playing in our buddy Danny's garage. And I, like I said, I was a little older at the time.
Josh
I was
is flipping right now. Sorry.
He is, you gear flipping bastard.
I'm not.
I just saw an amp cab on your text message screen when I looked over. Anyways.
I have a problem.
Sorry.
So yeah, we were kind of doing the same thing, a little bit older, just playing cheesy pop punk covers in a garage.
Yeah.
And to this day, I kind of feel bad about this, but I just knew that Danny wasn't going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really happy that he introduced me to this drummer. And this drummer, Rory, he could play like the fat beat, as I call it, the NoFX beat, which is really hard to play and really hard to lock in. And to this day...
And hard to do it for more than like 30 seconds.
Yeah. And to this day, like those drummers who can play that beat are few and far between.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think that kind of music's like simplistic or whatever, but as far as drums go, that's like one of the hardest things to do and keep that.
I mean, to do it well, yeah, it's definitely a one-trick pony, but to do it well, it definitely takes talent.
Yeah. So we're playing in the garage, and I just, Rory and I got to talk, and I was like, man, I just don't know if Danny is the one, but hey, dude, I still want to play with you.
Yeah.
And I felt terrible because I was like, Danny introduced us, so we move on, and I have a friend named Nick, and he's into the same shit that I am, and he plays guitar, and we're kind of like those, like you and Nick Morgan, kind of guitar buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Like we both played guitar. And I was like, man, I think I might try playing bass. So I was like, so Nick, you can come over and me, you, and Rory can jam, and I'll play bass. So we started this pop punk band, wrote a handful of songs, and it was that moment in my life where when I was younger, I was in Christian bands because I was raised in church, And this was the first band where it's like, man, we're not a Christian band. We're Christians in a band because we want to play all these cool places that were really the only places for bands like us to play back then.
Yeah.
Places with decent PAs and things like that.
Yeah. Coffee shops, lot of Christian coffee shops, basement cafes, all that good shit.
Yeah.
So we start writing songs and playing, and I'm playing bass, Nick's playing guitar, all fun and great. And then I don't remember. Do you remember exactly how we came to? I know we talked about being in a band together at Arby's in Midwest City. I think
before that, so we had an art class together, and I don't remember if you had like an MXPX shirt or a Blink-182 shirt or whatever. But anyway, we bonded over that, and then just naturally was like, oh, do you play guitar? Yeah. Oh, you're in a band? Yeah. And then I guess we just kind of started there, but I don't really remember. I guess Arby's was involved.
I do remember going to an Arby's with you, and I felt so cool because I was like, dude, because I had talked to Nick, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna ask this guy to be in the band because first of all, I want to play guitar.
Wait, you came and jammed with me and Nick and Matt before.
Oh, that's right.
So we had played. So we definitely played music together before this. It wasn't just on a whim.
Was that in their bedroom? Or maybe the living room of their old house?
I don't remember. Yes, it probably was. Or maybe in the garage. I don't know.
I do remember going over there and seeing you guys play.
Yeah.
And it was the classic, like, we were all just kids, man. Like, I don't even know if there was a mic stand involved. We always have that joke about, like, taping the mic to, like, a broomstick.
Yeah.
Like, and putting it, like, through the legs of a chair.
And, like, a mop bucket or something in the garage.
Exactly.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
Throw the mic cable over the garage door track.
Yeah.
And, like, tape it up so it's, like, hanging and you can kind of sing into it.
Yeah.
I think, I remember that. And then, I just remember Arby's for some reason. It was the Arby's in Midwest City. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to Nick, and I was like, dude, I think I'm gonna ask this dude to come jam with us. And I remember feeling like a young businessman, like, okay, so do you want to be in a band? I've got this really good drummer and this buddy of mine that's a guitar player, and I'm playing bass, but I really want to play guitar. And we started jamming together, and it was just like, okay, now this is a thing.
Well, you guys, I was like totally not in awe, but I was pretty like wowed by the whole thing because you guys had actually recorded songs. Like that's something that we never did when I was in that first band.
And originals as well.
Yeah. So you had a record. So it was
right.
It was kind of seemed like the next step, I guess.
Which in all actuality, it was just we got a master CD burnt from some shitty recording studio. The first, the band Torrance Crump, the first, I guess, I don't know, EP or whatever you want to call it.
I had the cassette tape.
Yeah, we recorded that on a recorder smaller than this one in front of us here, in the back of a Mexican restaurant after hours. Still smelled like beans and delicious meat and all that stuff. And I remember that night so vividly because we were ready to go. It was the first time I was ever in a quote unquote studio. And it, like, seriously, the gear around this table right now was like way better than what we recorded that on, which, you know, it was amazing. It was still like this awesome experience. These guys in a local band, Sounder, Sam Pina and what was it, Noe, I believe. Yeah. They were like, they kind of took us under their wing and they like believed in us. Like they were like, man, these kids are fun and they're good and we're going to help them out. Yeah. And they didn't even charge us, I don't think. I think we pulled together like $30 and gave it to them for like kind of like a thank you, you know. But yeah, they recorded that EP, the Skirted Eggshell EP, and they burned us. I thought it was so fancy because their mixer had a CD burner on it. And once they mixed it, we didn't even like EQ it or anything. We just like recorded it, burned it to a CD,
set some levels, burned it,
gave it to us, gave it to us that night. Didn't even like take it back and listen to it. It's like, all right, here you go. Here's your 5 songs.
Yeah.
Gave it to us that night. And I remember dropping Nick off at his parents' house or his mom's house, and his mom like giving us shit because he was home so late on a school night. Yeah. She was so mad. And he was like, he was like that young, like, I mean, he wasn't like, fuck you, mom, but he was like, no, like, this is what I got to do, you know? And we had that CD, and man, we just coveted this burned CD that we had. Cause it was like, dude, this is the big time. It was that when you're young and you're like, this is it. This is the start of a journey. And I took that CD on my Iowa boombox, my 3-disc CD changer with the glowing lights on the top, and I hand dubbed like 30 copies of the Skirted Eggshell EP onto like, you know, drugstore cassette tapes.
Yeah. Dude, I still have my cassette tape. It's in there right now.
You still have it?
Yeah, I still have it.
Oh, we went to Kinko's, you know, cut and pasted the art by hand, put it on like a piece of paper, ran it off, knew a girl that worked there, so she gave us our copies for free, which was awesome.
Punk as fuck.
Yeah, it was so punk. It was so punk. Played shows. You joined the band a little later. And man, I'm not going to lie, you know, obviously it was one of the most fun bands I've ever been in because back then it was all for fun. You know, like I remember thinking like, dude, this is going to go somewhere. But I wasn't old enough to realize that might not be a possibility. Yeah. So you have that like...
You're like just naive enough.
Yes. Yep. And you're like, dude, like fuck college. Yeah. Fuck it all. I'm just going to work a part-time job and this punk rock band is going to make it. We're going to tour and we're going to do all this.
Right.
And man, like those were the days. Because as you get older, and we've talked about it many times on this show with guests and just us, it's like that shit goes out the window.
It does.
Well, would you say, okay, like you said, Colin, just naive enough, but you were also young enough, and we talked about this part of it too, was it maybe a little bit of naivety and also a little bit of not doing it 100%? You know what I mean? Like did it, but like you get a little like you could step to the edge of the cliff and go,
yeah.
Oh, I would be the first to admit that's probably why. Not that I never made it, but that's why like I never even got close to that as far as music goes, is because I never went all in. Yeah. I went like, I'd say I went 75% in, but you know, we have friends that, you know, they as we say, they bought the van, they hit the road, they quit their jobs. They just did what they had to do in between tours or these special shows. But even those people, and even the people I know now that do that, I mean, they're still not famous. I can name one person out of all of our friends that made it. And that's Mike from All American Rejects. Yeah. Like he cut his teeth in these bands that we were, that we played with, not that we were in, but we played with his bands. And now he's, you know, in a touring act that's been around forever. And, you know, did he do anything that different than we did? Maybe, maybe not.
A lot of it was, and not this isn't to discredit him, but a lot of it was like right place, right time, and luck. I mean, but he works really hard. He's an awesome musician. He's a good showman, so he certainly earned it and deserved it. But as far as just getting the job, yeah, I think there was certainly some luck involved.
I would say that, and I think it's also because Mike Kennedy's such a nice guy. It was, I'm not going to say lowering himself, because I mean the Rejects are great, but it's like it's outside of the comfort zone of like, it's a totally different style of pop punk that he was. I mean, the dude's like into like skate punk and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember the whole he wore like big dickies, and they took him shopping for skinny jeans. Remember that?
Big dickies?
Yeah, big dickies. Those big brown dicky pants.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And they saw him in skinny pants, like, oh, okay, because it's a look. I mean, you gotta you gotta do your thing, and and they just fucking blew. I was amazed by that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because when they first started playing, it was just Nick and Tyson with a drum machine, and everyone's like, what are these guys?
The first time I saw the Rejects was at the Green Door, when it was the North Green Door. And yeah, it was the two guys, and I don't even think it was a drum machine. I think it was just a keyboard with like drum samples programmed into it.
I remember seeing them when they had a drummer, but it wasn't Chris, and he didn't play on every song. They had a drum machine for most of it, and then he would play sometimes.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah. And then to see them open for Blink, you know, a few weeks ago or a month ago or whatever, and you know, all things aside, it's like, it's pretty crazy to see our friend Mike, who I used to work with at Guitar Center. Like we would go eat CC's like
It's still weird
once every few days.
I like happened to see like a picture of them, or like even when I saw them when I went and saw Blink-182, it's still weird to see him up there.
And yeah, like you said earlier, not to discredit him. I mean, the dude has worked very hard to get where he's at.
Totally. Yeah,
but I'm 99% sure that he would be the first to admit that there was some luck involved. Or like you said, being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. The same thing with Josh Hogan and the Mowgli's. I mean, that was definitely you move to California and you join a band that just so happens to get to be like one of the, I want to say biggest bands of the summer, but they were a big summer band. Yeah. But I thought about that too, like, but what do those bands do in the winter? Do you take time out, like when your music is very summertime, like la 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 la, that kind of stuff, like. Yeah, just
maybe write and record.
Just write and record. Yeah. But no, that kind of thing, like right place, right time, kind of a thing too. Because I mean, he played in Leasing Nations and Euclid Crash, and then played shows together all the time. And it was kind of weird that those two dudes kind of.
It's just weird to think about, like, because we all share like a pretty large cross section, like circle of friends, and we all have our own pockets of friends. And out of all of our friends that play music, there's like maybe, like I said, Mike. I don't really know Josh, so I don't really put him in my Venn diagram area, but Mike's like the only guy that like made it. Yeah. And I don't mean like superstardom, but I mean, they were on MTV. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's pretty big. You know,
I would almost say superstardom for pop punk, like for sure. Yeah. Definitely. Still doing it.
Yeah. But how many, I mean, hundreds between us, there's hundreds of people that we know. Or you know, and I'm not saying like we're best friends with all of them, but like anything from like acquaintance to like really good friends. So yeah, I definitely think there's luck involved. And I just wonder, when was the moment where I kind of like decided, or not even decided, but came to realize that like that wasn't going to happen? I mean, did you still have those feelings? Did you have those feelings in our next band when we started the band with Matt and Marshall? Tervis? Was it still? Did you feel that in Torrance Crump?
It was like Torrance Crump 2.0 in that it was still fun, and it felt like it was just our thing. It was all about us, and we weren't trying to like be anything. But we definitely, we were more business savvy, and we booked shows, and we talked about touring, and tried to record music, and I guess we sort of started to even like craft a look, but it was still just for us. So, I felt, I don't know, that band was so short lived. I don't know if I ever thought that we were gonna make it or whatever.
Right.
How long did you guys do Tervis?
It was for like the summer. It felt like it wasn't very long.
Yeah, it wasn't long at all.
4 or 5 months, maybe.
Was it only that short?
I think so.
Gosh, it seems like, looking back, it seems like we did a lot in that time. But really, I guess now that I think about it, kind of picking
it may have been 6 months, but I don't think it was much longer than that.
Yeah, because I remember when like we were jamming the precursor of what would be Tervis, and then it seemed like after that, you guys played a few shows, did some stuff, and then it just stopped.
It totally did. It just like
It was one day we were just like, nope.
No more.
Yeah.
Turbis tumblers.
So did you... So when you started to play with Pompeii down here, did you still have that feeling? Like, did you have like, man, this is fun and like this has like a future? Because I know you guys went overseas. Like, you did some stuff.
We played some really awesome shows, and we were lucky that we got to do some cool things, and we've had our music be in some cool things like some commercials and a movie and stuff like that. So we got to sniff a little bit of success, but I felt like we were always the most unlucky band because we could never catch a break. Anytime something good like that would happen, something else shitty would happen. And so it kind of always felt like one step forward, two steps back with us. I don't know if it was all luck or what. But yeah, for a while, like certain things would happen. I'd be like, man, this is going to work out. This is going to work out.
Well, like with recording and getting to leave the country, which is something, I mean, I rarely got to ever leave the state.
Yeah.
A handful of times, maybe.
Yeah, that's still, I mean, one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me because of music was getting to go and see a whole other part of the world just because we wrote these songs and we were playing music together, and it basically paid for our trip to go over there. And
what was it like?
It was crazy. It was like just kind of it was like an out of body experience for a month. Like it was like, is this really happening?
You said you were over there a month?
Yeah.
That's a long time, man, to be far from home.
You think about like the first few days, you're like, okay, cool, this is cool. This is vacation. And then we get to play music. But like week 3, week 2,
it's a job.
Yeah. And you're just like, man, I could see this going forever. But then at the same time, you're like, man, I don't know. Like, I kind of want to go home, but
like stability, like the comfort of home stability kind of a thing. Yeah.
It does start to become a job, like you said, and it becomes work, but it was still really cool to be able to do that just because we played guitar and wrote some songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very lucky to experience anything, any sort of reward.
It's true.
For whether it's playing a show to your friends here, or getting to go overseas, or getting to record and go into a studio.
Yeah, and because so many people don't get to do that, so I don't want to sound ungrateful for that at all.
Oh no, that's
one of the top experiences of my entire life is being able to do that.
So now that you're a bit older, a bit wiser, do you feel like you're going to recapture that and want to do that again? Whether it's with Pompeii or another band or whatever, like.
I mean, I guess no.
Have you sold the van?
Yeah, we did. We literally sold the van.
Literally?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I just have more responsibilities now. Even 8 years ago, I guess up to 6 years ago, didn't have quite as many responsibilities as I do now. So yeah, I mean, getting older, like I don't think I could do it again, and I feel like I'd have to start all over, and it takes so much time to like work up and get to where we were at. We had to put in a ton of work, and it was years and years before we even got to go to Europe. I mean, it was 5 years.
Isn't it a weird feeling though? Because when I was younger, I was so afraid of feeling what I feel right now about, however small and minuscule that my musical journey has been or whatever, that sounds even cheesy saying it like that. But when I was younger, I was like, oh man, I'll never get to that point.
Yeah. And
now that I'm to that point, maybe even past that point, I'm like, it's not so bad. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm more comfortable now in where I'm at than I was back then. I mean, it may have been fun because I was in a band and touring and stuff, but, I mean, I'm more like financially stable now, and I can enjoy things more now. Just being a regular dude.
Yeah.
Than that I wouldn't have been able to back then. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's whereas I would love to go on a tour and play out across the country, or out of country, things like that. But like you said, responsibilities. I'm married. I have rent. I have 2 dogs. Yeah. I have a job. It's definitely a young man's game.
It is a young man's game, yeah.
However, nowadays it's so much easier to do things. Like you can record an album in your house, pretty much, without paying anybody to do it. You can book shows a hell of a lot easier. You don't need a booking agent. You can do that. I guess weekend warrior the hell out of it and just play weekend shows. But at the same time, is that how you want to spend your free time?
Right.
From work doing that?
You only get a few days to do it. Do you want to spend it doing that?
And especially when you're our age, like, I'm not saying death is on your fucking door knocking, but I mean, if you're in your mid-30s and you spend all of your free time playing these shows and it doesn't do anything, well, then what'd you do? I mean, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or you can also do the other side of that devil's advocate and say, but you did it. I mean, you tried. You went out there and you played. Yeah. So it's that kind of. And I play drums in a band, and it's weird because one of the dudes in it, Dylan, who writes the songs and plays, he's 22, super young, and that guy. I see a lot of me, younger me, in him with that drive, like that passion of like I wrote these songs, like super proud of them. They're good songs. Mm-hmm. He just really wants to do it, really wants to make it. I'm support him 120%. However, I'm not going to try to be in this band for like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'll take it to the point, and I mean, I'll take it as far as he wants to go with it locally. And if he ever wants to go like out, I mean, we're playing in Lawrence, it's our first show. Yeah. But I can't really do big long tours. Yeah. So get to that point, and then go ahead, dude. You're 22. You have plenty of fucking time. Keep doing it. But for me, I think I really enjoy just playing. Just like we said the other day, like just jam. What happened to just jamming? Like get off of work, grab that bass, and just almost revert back to what you did back in the day. Like get together, like when we were like 16, we'd get together and play Green Day songs or whatever. Get together and just play songs that you grew up loving, or you know how to play, or you figured something out. Like, hey, let's play this thing. I have this little riff. Let's just figure it out. Yeah,
my favorite part of being in a band and playing music is recording songs, writing songs, and just being in the studio and recording them and shaping them into this thing. But like the grind and like playing shows and loading in and out and like all that stuff. I don't really want to do that anymore.
Playing a show on a Tuesday night and you're the third person up, but the show doesn't start till 10, so you play at midnight and you don't get paid for the show. And you got to go home, wake up, go to work the next day. That shit, it sucks. But I mean, is it worth it? Yes, no. You know, who knows? I mean, like my favorite thing to do in this world is not even write songs. It's sit down and just make something up and then see what comes out of it. I love it when Robbie and I get together and do other things. We've made like hip hop songs and stuff. It's just fun. It's not for anybody else to hear, not for anybody else to even see or know about. It's just something fun to do. You kill 3 hours and you've made something. You've done something resourceful with your time.
You're being creative.
And you can go back, and even if it's like a jokey thing or like just for fun, as all that would be. You know, it's like we have this little thing that we made, and it's not for anybody else. It's for us, you know? And I think that, you know, talking about bands and stuff like this, I know this is something we talk about a lot on the show, but personally, going back and talking about this stuff and thinking about these feelings, I think when it comes to me and my journey, I think a lot of it has to do with like, maybe like some conceit or cockiness where it's like, I thought that this shit really mattered. Like, especially when I was younger. Oh, yeah. You know? Yeah. Like, man, these pop punk songs are so good and we're good. Man, we're like one of the best bands around. And, you know, I wasn't ever cocky to other people, but I was always like very confident and like self-assured, I guess you'd say. Yeah. But looking back, it's like, dude, that shit doesn't matter. Like, it does to you at the time, of course. And that's what it's all about, is that it matters to you so much. But looking back, it's like, dude, we were just 4 kids playing in your dad's shop. Like, that's not going to change the world. That's not going to make you a bunch of money. Right. And I think a lot of times, personally, looking back, I think that might have kind of gotten in the way of just being consumed by something and like giving it 100%. Yeah. Was like overthinking, putting the cart before the horse, so to speak. And, you know, I'm not saying that all of us sitting at the table are guilty of that, but for me, I definitely was. Yeah. And that's why even getting older and us doing this podcast now, it's like, it means everything to me, but at the same time, I really try to keep it in perspective where it's just like, just some friends sitting around talking about our lives and experiences. And, you know, even with this newer podcast, it's like, this is just a chronicle and a document of friendships and stories and experiences that I just want to have just to have. And if people want to listen to it, that's fucking awesome. Yeah. And people do listen to it, and that's awesome. But at the end of the day, it's like, I guess you have to ask yourself, like, why are you doing this?
it? Yeah.
And, you know, if we talked about it with Garrett, like, if you're playing guitar to get laid, that's probably the wrong reason.
Right.
And you're probably not going to get laid anyways.
Right.
And if you were to get laid, you could probably get laid if you weren't playing guitar. If you were just like a decent dude that was like funny.
Yeah.
And not smelly. But anyways.
This was fun though.
Well, thanks, man. It was about time.
Glad I finally got to be on here.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Bye.
Bye.